Iranian general to be attacked since the U.S. Joining us for more on this very latest development on this daring attack is News Nation's Washington correspondent Joe Khalil. Joe, this was something else. This was the highest ranking Iranian general to be attacked since the U.S. killed Soleimani during the Trump administration.
Yeah, and I think daring is a good way to put it, Elizabeth, not only because of the way that this was carried out, but also because of the possible ramifications here. I mean, this very well could escalate the war, not just from Gaza and Israel, but well beyond, and to a broader conflict in the region. And that is the concern, frankly, that the American side has, along with the Israeli side as well. So we're talking about a top commander here, as you mentioned, Mohammad Reza Zahedi, who was killed along with 6 others, according to Iranian state media, in this attack inside the consulate building in Syria. Now, if you're wondering why in Syria, Syrian government, along with the Iranian government, are very strong, close allies, which both makes them enemies of Israel. So it's not a surprise that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps members are meeting in Damascus. What is maybe surprising is, again, that Israel made this choice to move forward with this attack, although the intelligence on the Israeli side, we know, is very good, akin to what the CIA has here in the United States. Matthew Miller, the spokesperson for the State Department, addressed the concerns about whether this strike might lead to a broader conflict, and here's what he said.
But of course, we are always concerned about anything that would be escalatory or cause an increase in conflict in the region. It has been one of the goals of this administration since October 7th to keep the conflict from spreading, recognizing that Israel has the right to defend itself from adversaries that are sworn to its destruction.
Now, Elizabeth, we have heard from Iran. The person who was one official working in Syria, the ambassador from Iran, has actually said there will be a response in kind, and also that whatever it is, it will be harsh. We also know there are these ongoing negotiations between the Palestinian side and the Israeli side for a ceasefire to help get Israeli hostages out and also to provide some humanitarian aid to the Palestinian people in Gaza. The State Department does not think that this strike is going to put those negotiations in jeopardy, but that's a question we can't fully answer yet. So we're going to see if this has any impact on the diplomatic front between the two warring sides.
Yeah, Joe, and those negotiations not going very well over the past several weeks. They haven't led to anything. Lots of people getting up and walking out and then coming back to the table. But the United States, President Biden has really been pushing Netanyahu and the Israeli government to turn down the temperature on everything here. I'm just curious. This attack today, this targeted attack of this high-ranking Iranian general inside a diplomatic building, according to the Iranians in Syria, that's the opposite of turning down the temperature.
Yeah, it is. And we talked about the nature of it itself, attacking within another country's borders there. There are always these proxy back and forths. You have Hezbollah in Lebanon that is regularly firing rockets into Israel and Israel firing back into Lebanon. Just yesterday, one Hezbollah commander killed by the Israeli forces there. So even while these negotiations are happening, you do have these sort of proxy wars happening all around Israel. And that's why there is such a concern that it is a tinderbox that may end up resulting in a larger conflict there. If the negotiations are stalled and stopping, that's a real concern for President Biden, especially if this attack ends up leading to a breakdown of the talks altogether, because it has been a priority for this administration, walking a fine line, mind you, to try to get humanitarian aid into Gaza. Remember, we've already authorized for that essentially floating station to get humanitarian aid into Gaza. That's going to be operated by American military forces. So any escalation may literally put American troops at risk. And that's something that certainly, I imagine, the White House does not want to be seeing right now.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find news.